Hello fellow leggers, we are here at a lovely little venue just off the beaten track in Soho, London, and that is the Soho Theatre.
And we are catching a brand new premiere, European premiere of a musical.
Yes, The View Upstairs, so stick around to find out all of our thoughts.
Find out how many stars.
And whether it's break a leg or leg it.
Soho Theatre, we've seen something here before, really nice quaint space, but you were telling me this is the first time they've done a musical here.
They seem to be billing it as they don't typically do musicals here, or this is the first time. Now, we saw a play with music, and that's a whole other argument as what defines a play with music compared to a musical.
That's an anybody have a map.
Absolutely. But this particular piece is, as you said, a European premiere of an off-Broadway hit. It was received really well in the States. Now, The View Upstairs is inspired by the true story of a 1973 arson attack that was the largest single attack on the LGBTQ plus community until the 2016 Pulse Nightclub shooting in Florida.
Okay, interesting subject matter then.
Yeah, quite edgy it seems like, a bit emotional. Now the story is centred around Millennial fashion designer Wes as he purchases an abandoned building which turns out to be the very site of that attack and sets him on an exhilarating journey of self-exploration as the ghosts of the past help him explore lust and sex amidst a heady sense of incense.
Okay.
Heady scent of incense. I can't say that 3 times fast.
Right, okay.
Now, I've got to say what's really drawn me to this, outside of the fact that it's an LGBTQ plus piece, which is really important, is a sensational cast. How they have managed to pull this out of the bag, I do not know.
Okay, shoot.
Now, the leading character of Wes is being played by Olivier Award nominee Tyrone Huntley, who played Judas in the Regent Park production of Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yep.
Now, we saw them at West End Live, and he performed a number from this.
He's got a cracking voice.
He really does. But
Great talent.
He's performing here alongside DECLAN Bennett, who played Jesus in that very same production.
Wow.
They've been reunited, guys.
Pulled straight from that
This piece
show.
has brought them together. Now, Declan is playing the role of Dale here, but we last saw him in Kiss of the Spider Woman at the MENEAL.
We did. No, didn't he also do Once, or am I making that up?
I think he did do.
I'm pretty sure
he was.
did.
Yeah, he was the
He did
original
Once
guy
for a while.
in the UK Once.
I thought I
saw him in
recognised
that.
him.
Absolutely. He was also in Point Break, the boy band. But the less said about that, the better, right?
Okay.
Now, joining us from the States, they've shipped over a Broadway superstar, Andy Mientus, who's playing Patrick. Now, Andy's Broadway credits include Bach in Wicked, Marius in Les Mis, and Hanshin in Spring Awakening. But he also played Rudy in the LA production of Bent at the Mark Dacre Forum, which was great.
It was.
And now on TV, he's been in smash hits, including Smash and The Flash.
Oh, okay.
I mean, what a coup.
What a pull.
What a bloody pull.
Okay.
Now, Victoria Hamilton Barrett's in the cast for this. She has performed alongside someone else in the cast in a chorus line. She's also been in Murder Ballad, and I saw her more than 10 years ago in the lead role in Flashdance on a UK tour. And she was bloody brilliant. Lovely as well. She was absolutely lovely.
You say she was reunited with someone in this
teasing
production?
you here. Now, as Buddy in The View from Upstairs is the legendary John Partridge.
Legendary. I do love John.
He's so extremely talented, and it's an absolute joy to get him to see something. Now, we last saw him in Le Cage aux Folles.
We did.
We also...
He's a very talented guy.
Yes.
Something was said for the accent he chose.
Yes.
But he's a very talented
Absolutely.
performer.
He was in a chorus line with Victoria, but it's also in
Right.
Cats. He's on the video for Cats. You know, the filmed sort of not the movie. You know, it was
Not
filmed.
the one that's just come out.
No.
The one that was filmed that has been released.
It was like filmed live,
Oh
but
yeah,
not
yeah,
live.
yeah, he was.
He
I
was in
remember.
that.
He played one of the main ones.
He did. He's
I
a
can't remember who it
fantastic
was now,
dancer.
but yes,
I'm sure he can still get his leg over his head, right? He's soon to be touring in the UK as MC in Bill Kenwright's tour of Cabaret.
Okay.
But in many years he was on EastEnders, so you might know him from that.
Okay.
Now, 1 hour 45 minutes straight through.
Straight through, so zippy, no interval breakdown.
Yeah, we're not going to see, but we'll catch you at the end, so stick around to find out all of our thoughts.
And how many stars? We've come to the end of The View Upstairs here at the Soho Theatre in London. So, Legger Simon, you can start. What did you make of that?
I really loved it. I've got to say, by and large, I think it's a really vital, feels quite original. It's almost a song cycle / musical. It doesn't feel like a fully formed through narrative sort of things, because each of the characters get their own individual monologue moments. But the character development as such means that by the end of it, I felt genuinely sympathetic and empathetic towards their plight in a situation that I think would go unnoticed and maybe unrecorded and even ashamedly ignored by and large. And that's the power of some musical theatre. It's bringing attention to a situation, and the way this casts light on the plight that we still have in what is community and what makes us feel like we belong and marginalised and all of those things. It feels as relevant now, and we have different problems, but we still have some of the problems they had in 1973. And I just think as a highlight and to shine a light on some of those, it was just a fantastically enjoyable evening.
Wow, okay. I thought it was enjoyable as well. An hour and 45 minutes. It's,
maybe a little bit over. I think it went over a little bit. Maybe an hour and 50.
It's a long time to ask people. It sounds funny. You go to the cinema and it doesn't feel that long.
Yeah.
And yet sometimes you go to the theatre, it does feel its length. We've said this before.
Beg pardon?
But I agree.
Whose length are you feeling?
I was engaged throughout. I think it's a really important message, a really important story to be told. It really kind of points out the differences between 1973 and 2009 in terms of 2019.
You've lost a decade, dear.
It's
all those drugs.
In terms of the LGBT story and that through story, well, we still haven't reached the ending yet.
No.
But boy, are things different, and some things are the same in different ways.
And things aren't necessarily better. I mean, I remember when I first came out, I remember hitting the gay scene at 15. That was a long time ago, and I remember that sense of community. I remember people watching each other's backs. I remember everybody knew my name.
Okay.
I could walk into one of several bars, illegally, but I would feel like I had a sense of belonging, and that just isn't there anymore.
And that's what it's kind of saying, and we've got this kind of character from modern day saying more, it's about, we've got Grindr nowadays,
yeah,
and
so
everything
we don't
is
need
done
to hook up
socially
in a
online.
bar.
So there's a lot of things
We
that
build online communities.
But there's very much in there about, we are standing today in this society on the shoulders of giants, and if we don't look back and remember the work and the troubles and the tribulations that people
and the
have gone
sacrifice,
through,
ultimately,
the sacrifices, then it kind of validates where we are now and shows that, we need to be grateful and we need to learn from the messages of the past.
Yes.
Now, what I thought this piece did that was very interesting as well, I'm not sure what you think about this, Lega Simon, is they say they don't know who caused this fire.
Yeah.
However, the plot does kind of point out a single character who said it would be. But it doesn't villainize that character, really. It almost says that that character is a victim
themselves
and the society and just at large of what was going on at the time, which I thought was a really interesting point of view to take
because
as a piece.
It would have been easy to have a simple villain, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
it would have been very easy to have a bad guy at the heart of it. But when you've got a bad guy, and these are the strongest villain writing, is those that have got layers and a reason for their villainry.
And I thought that character was beautifully layered. I mean, we're talking about a human person who was driven, who was part of the community, who we're assuming this would happen, but if it did, that was driven to that act.
Because the community snubbed them. I mean, you can be on the inside 1 minute and on the outside the next.
And you get that. And so I thought that was really interesting that they did that, and I thought that it was from a human point of view,
I think
of understanding and empathy.
Without seeing it probably sounds a little bit like we're talking in riddles a little bit, because it's a little bit abstract in that way, and you have to see it to understand it. But I think what we're trying to say at the heart of it is that the writing is clever here. The writing and the characters
that writing
of
I liked.
those characters.
Yeah,
now
I
the
did
book,
like
music and lyrics are all by one person. So that's Max Vernon. And I've got to say, I loved the book personally. I thought as a play and as those characters, I've heard some people say that the character of Wes is a little bit cliched because he's so millennial. But I know a lot of people like him. And I don't think it's that ill-observed.
I think you've got to go, Wes has got to go on the journey. He's the journey part, and you can only go on that journey if you start off at a certain place, and they've pushed that certain place to an extreme
Would
of
you-
what a millennial
but I
is.
think you have
very,
to.
you know, self-aware,
Yeah.
never happy, very image-focused,
Panic attack,
all about the
triggering.
likes and
Yeah.
you know, seeking that
Superficial.
self-approval through social
Yeah.
media, having to
Yeah.
Instagram everything, and it doesn't mean anything unless it's Instagrammed. So I get that's
I
almost
think
that
you-
needs to be there to
you
serve
ha-
the purpose
and
of
I
the
think you
story.
have to amplify that. If you're going to tell a story in 2 hours or less, you haven't. It's not like a series where you kind of reveal.
You
that
gotta
as
be
you
something,
Go.
you
You've gotta
can't be nothing.
bold here with the
Yeah.
character, and I think that's a bold and well-written character.
And I think it does contain elements of many different people and
Yeah.
many different millennials
Yes.
within that. So
But-
I buy into that.
But yeah,
No,
I-
I don't think so.
As for the music and lyrics, what did you make of the songs?
I thought, do you know what? I gotta say, I thought they were okay.
Yes.
I
By
thought
and
they were
large, there are a few
okay.
standouts.
They were performed fantastically.
And that's it. We'll
which
come on to the
made
cast
them,
in a minute.
and it was the
Jesus.
performances that stood out more than the numbers themselves
Absolutely.
for me. So absolutely. What else? What do you think? Of
Yeah,
the
I
music?
mean, I would agree with you. I think there were some numbers that are real standout numbers, and the way that they are performed universally was incredible. I don't think we have had an assembled cast on a West End, off West End stage, certainly
9
in a
or 10
small
of
space like
them?
this. Yeah, that are so strong. Both individually and together, their vocal harmonies when they sang all together was almost religious experience for me.
I was-
I
do you know-
felt the music, I felt the soul in their singing.
That's exactly what I was going to say. There's some
Yeah.
real soul moments, and
Absolutely.
they're kind of soul Motown moments. Those vocal individual lines were just beautiful. And I was like, wow, I'm lucky to be in the presence of this performer.
Some of the songs do have that gospel feeling. Some of them are rocky and reminded me of Hedwig.
Yep.
That sort of early Elton John phase. I felt that in some of the numbers. But then you do get some ballads, waltzes, more melancholy moments. There was almost a West Side Story moment for me in its sort of softness of ballad with this Puerto Rican character and her son. But just beautifully, I would say very different, the songs. But sometimes I felt a little bit unaccomplished, like there wasn't a clear ending to the song, or it didn't have a button, or sometimes a hook. You know, when you think musical theatre songs that are memorable, they've got some sort of a hook.
There was the one
These
song
songs
that
just
they
felt a
did
little
over and
bit-
over again, and
Some Kind of Paradise
some kind of
song.
paradise,
Yeah.
which I think, because we'd heard it before at West End Live,
Yeah.
that one, and it's sung a couple of times in the show. That one really did play out as an anthem, and it will be stuck in my
but
head.
some of them just lacked a
But
little bit of a
all the
bite.
rest kind of faded into just
But a nice
mesh.
song. They're
Performed
nice
well.
music. It felt
Performed well,
a
is
nice
what I'd say.
din is what it was.
Okay.
Let's move on to some of the performances now.
Okay.
You're talking about that sort of tormented villain-esque character played. That's the character of Dale, played by Declan Bennett. Go.
I thought he was great. I
It's a
really
tricky
liked the
part.
writing. I didn't know he would be that character, or that part would be part of that community. I assumed. But anyway, I thought he performed it really well, because he is the outsider. He's tormented.
Yeah.
He wants acceptance.
Like you say,
I thought he did such a good job.
Very easy to play a cliche there, but he never ventured into cliche territory.
No.
This goes to show the strength of his acting, also a great singing voice. I've never found Trailer Trash so sexy, is what I would say. Kind of turned me on a little bit with that sort of rough around the edges vibe. Is that
And,
just me?
Well, no, this is where I'm conflicted with the piece. Can we
Okay.
be saying this about the person who caused the death of that?
Well,
Do you know what I mean?
he
In
might
the-
not have done.
But this is where part of, I think it's really clever. I know we're pulling away here, but this is kind of what we're saying as well within the piece, which just causes a bit of conflict for me. However, as Declan the performer, he is. I see where you're coming
Top
from.
of the game.
And he's top of his game.
Derek
yes.
Hagan as the cop and also the realtor.
Yeah,
How did you
great.
find him? Great.
Good stuff.
Now, Victoria Hamilton Barrett as Inez, the Puerto Rican mother.
Loved her stand out for me.
Yeah, she is.
Loved her.
She is incredible. She plays characterization so well.
I don't think I've seen her before, and
What-
she's great.
I've liked her for a long time, but I would say I don't think I've had a. You know, when people act through song as a character,
Yes.
it's a big ask.
Yes.
Because it could have gone campy.
But she
But
was
she never
genuine.
did.
She
She
was
was
there.
genu-
She was
absolutely.
grounded and hilariously so.
Yeah.
But for the right reason.
Absolutely.
She just was.
I mean, for me, she looks 20 years too young because she's gorgeous.
she is gorgeous.
But
she's got a
but
son
she
that's
played
like
it
her age.
so well. Well, that looks her age.
Looks
at
her
least.
age.
She just has aged really well.
Yeah, Tyrone Huntley.
I mean, let's talk about the main man here. This is former Olivier nominee, ex-Judas in Jesus Christ Superstar. Boy, can that man sing anybody? If I was singing next to him, I would be fearful. I would have vocal penis envy. is what I would have. Do you know what I mean?
What?
Like,
There's
you know,
the hashtag.
That vocal
for
penis
this
envy.
vocal
Because you know,
penis
like,
envy.
you don't want to be next to somebody that's like going to show you up. Because
you
he
see-
just, I know they're all great, but Tyrone's tone is unlike any that I've heard in a long time.
Well, I was going to say, it wasn't just the vocal for me. I actually thought his performance throughout, through his spoken text, through his work with the character, was great as well.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed what he did with this. I've heard that he's a great vocalist, and that's what he's known for. But I would go beyond that to say that actually he's a solid actor in this.
Do you think he's a future Cynthia Erivo?
Let's watch this
Do you think
space.
that level of being able to be
No,
everything,
no,
being
no,
a
no,
great
no, no.
actor,
I mean,
a great vocalist?
Tyrone, you're great.
Yes.
However, Cynthia is something else.
Oh, thanks for that. I don't know if we could keep that.
There is only one Cynthia.
Okay, there is. I'm sure he
no
knows
offense to
that.
anybody in the
Yeah.
world. I'm not just to point out Tyrone, but anybody. If you're talking about Cynthia Erivo, you're talking a different level of individual on this planet at this moment.
But he
in my opinion.
But he is sensational.
Damn good.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
He's absolutely damn good. Gary Lee in the role of Freddie, the drag queen, kind of non-typical drag queen, which I quite liked.
Yes.
This massive shift between
Great
a
energy.
butch, bald-headed, tattooed, man-looking figure, yet being the most effeminate person in the cast.
I wanted him to do I just want to dance.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
I
you
just
want
want to
him to
dance.
play
When
that
he was
part.
playing that part, I thought he reminded me very much of that part.
Well, he doesn't have a huge amount of acting credits. He's got a few, but he's also been a director and associate choreographer on a few things too. Mainly choreography more than anything, but I want to see him more.
Okay.
I think he's great. Carly Mercedes Dyer as Henry.
Oh my goodness, can that voice go up into the stratosphere? She
Yeah.
has got some notes and some riffs.
Yeah.
Like she can riff.
Orgasmic riffs is what I would say.
Orgasmic riffs,
Like
another
literally,
hashtag.
those riffs that make your everything, all of the hair stand up on your arms and your nipples go rock hard.
And these top lines.
Mike could have cut
firing.
glass on these when she was hitting those top notes. Absolutely.
Let's move
now,
on.
the cutest
Oh,
person.
you've got a bit of a soft spot
I think
after
I
this.
have a proper crush now on Andy Mientus, who played Patrick in this. I mean, I knew he was cute. He's played Bach, and he's such a sweet. But seeing him in the flesh, I don't know whether to wrap him up in cotton wool or straddle him.
Gosh, beware, keep away.
Andy, you might want to watch your back because I'm on the prowl. That's
Oh
what
my
I am.
goodness.
But
he's like the boy next door. And he's
Yeah.
like innocent. He's just so cute. He's a cute,
cute.
bundle of cuteness.
Vulnerable, and when he sings, he's got this melodic, soft, lullaby-esque tone that I want to fall asleep in his arms.
Okay, not too stanny.
Don't be, but
stanny.
don't be jealous. Cedric
jealous.
Neal as Willie.
I
Now,
loved him. I loved him.
loved him.
That boy can sing. His character, has he done Kinky Boots? He
Incredible.
must have Kinky Boots.
He was in
his...
Motown.
Yes.
He was in Chess at the Coliseum playing the Arbiter. I would have loved to hear him sing that. I
Okay.
mean, it's not a great part, but at least he would have sang it. He was Tony nominated for After Midnight on Broadway.
Like he is
recently.
good. His character was great. Just
He
that
would
camp
make a great
queen.
Lola. You're right.
Lola,
He hasn't done
has
it
he
by the
not
looks
done
of
it?
things,
Oh my
no.
goodness, he needs to do. Maybe it's just below him because he's that good.
Yeah.
He is like just vocally fantastic. I was hanging on every single line
But
of his
his
vocal.
characterisation,
Yes.
I remember having a friend on the gay scene, a black guy, who unfortunately died a few years ago now, who was exactly like that. He walked into a room and commanded the whole place. He had the softest heart, yet he was the most outgoing, extroverted, almost frighteningly, what's the word? Confidence. Do you know when it's sort of a little bit intimidating? But he had the softest, loveliest way once you got to know him. He reminded me of him, and I thank you for that moment, Cedric, for giving me that little memory of him.
It was very good.
Joseph Prowse as Richard, the sort of priesty person,
Oh, yes.
had a great number.
He did have a good
Loved
number.
his
Yeah,
song,
most
actually.
Good stuff. We're
He-
moving along quickly,
he
Leggers,
bought-
because we're aware we've had you for a while.
Yeah, he brought that to life. What was his song called?
Something about the church one, wasn't it? Are you listening?
Are
God,
You
is it?
Listening, God? Was
Is that it?
fantastic.
When he took us to church.
Take me to church,
Took us to
guys.
church.
And let's talk, last but not least, by the one, the only, the legend, John Partridge.
He's so solid. He opens
Oh
the
my
show on his
God.
own.
Yeah.
He opens up with a beautiful riff, unaccompanied, and you're just like, yes, that's a beautiful vocal. I feel confident in everything he does.
Yeah.
He's camp and yet he's harsh and tormented at the same time. His character is keeping up the facade of he's had to marry and he's got kids and he's terrified of being discovered as he would in 1973. He's a has-been, he's washed up, and all of those shades of talent and torment are there, and he played them beautifully.
Born to play this part is what I would say. The 70s suit him. That handlebar moustache. My God, John, you're turning me on. You're rocking it.
Could
you
he
really
keep
are.
it for MC? I don't think
you
it'll
should
work.
keep it for MC. Give it a go. But yeah, John, you've gone to show again that you are a man to be a force to be reckoned with in this industry, and I think everything that you're going to be in, I'm going to fight to see. I loved him. I thought he was wonderful.
I love how we're talking to you, John, as if you're actually going to be watching this. Who knows? Comment below, John.
Now, the choreography was minimal but beautiful.
Just
and
enough.
That's Fabian Alois who did the Rink as well. Did the choreography for the
Great
Rink.
Stuff.
And director Jonathan O'Boyle for bringing it all together. I think you've read this piece. It's touched you, and I can tell your passion for it in the performers that you've assembled and the beautiful vision that you've created, which is as resonant to our times now as it was in 1973. You've done a great job, and I thank you for that.
Yeah, lovely stuff. It's just a small space, one set, but it moves really well. Really nice envisaged, really nice really nice view.
Let's
and
get the
put it on stage.
The view upstairs, in fact.
The view upstairs was great.
Great. The view from upstairs
really
was
illustrated.
I just quickly want to mention Bob Broad for musical direction, Lee Newby for set and costume design, and lighting designer Nick Farman. When you've got a small state and one set, you've got to be creative, and I think it worked really, really well. I want to give a couple of Breaker Leggers Award nominations.
What? Who to?
I want to give Best Musical nomination to The View Upstairs.
There you
are,
being bold,
taking risks, and showcasing an LGBTQ piece in a time that we need to see it.
It's a timely piece, so many messages that are relevant.
John Partridge, Best Actor in a Musical for The View Upstairs.
John Partridge.
Tyrone Huntley, Best Actor in a Musical for The View Upstairs. Declan Bennett, Best Actor in a Musical, View Upstairs.
I don't even know if I've got enough
Victoria
stage
Hamilton Barrett, Best Actress in a Musical, The View Upstairs. And
oh my goodness.
Andy Mientus, Best Actor in a Musical for The View Upstairs. And also...
go on then, if we're doing it, then we have to also go for my man here.
Yeah, Cedric Neal as Willie, Best Actor in a Musical, The View Upstairs. Best Actress Carly Mercedes Dyer for The View Upstairs. Best Actor Gary Lee Freddie for The View Upstairs, and Joseph Prowse as Richard for The View Upstairs. Best Actor in a Musical, Breaker Leggers Award 20 nominations. The whole cast, guys, are insanely talented, and an off West End cast ensemble hasn't been this strong forever.
Wow, I don't know how I feel about that, fellow leggers, because this is a talented cast, and to have that many nominations is saying this is the show we missed, which probably leads us on to how many stars we're going to give this piece. Before we go on to that, please subscribe if you want to see more of us. Comment below your thoughts of this show or any other shows. But hey, how many stars are we going to give The View Upstairs?
For The View Upstairs, we are going to give 4
stars for this piece.
I think it just misses out for me on some of the songs are just a little bit weak. They just don't. They lack a bit of punch. Some of the endings of the songs, they're quite similar. It's nearly perfect. It's worthy of a nomination because the book is strong and the performances are strong. The creatives are great, but it just lets me down on. I don't think I'm going to be humming more than one number.
I think that it's not 6 where every song is better than the last, but the songs are good to give enough for this talented cast to work with, and it's a touching, meaningful story that I think will resonate with a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And it's a lovely, intimate venue as well. That's the thing with the Soho Theatre. So the audience are on stage around the outside of this nightclub. It's as if we are there in this upstairs bar venue with them. So it's a beautiful experience to be a part of.
I would say if this does transfer somewhere, don't miss the chance to see it at the Soho in an intimate space, because it will only ever go bigger, is what I think.
Yes, potentially.
So don't miss out. See it at the Soho.
Don't miss this cast, because it's a limited run.
Yeah, I mean, they've got loads of jobs lined up, so don't miss this cast. But that's just what I think.
And just what I think.
What do you think? Have you seen The View Upstairs? Let us know down below. Who's your favourite performer in this show? We'd love to know. We're the Breaker Leggers.
And we'll catch you again soon.
Bye!